Good morning, guys. 2 weeks ago, I posted a video of me having a no scroll week, and it was quite therapeutic. I really loved it, and I enjoyed being off my phone. But then last week, I fell off the wagon again, and I spent almost every day on my phone. And comparing those 2 weeks, I definitely felt a lot better the first week compared to the second week. So I really want to get back into not being on my phone. And I've been kind of in a reading slump the last few months. If you've been watching my channel, I did finally finish A Man Called Of, and I really love that book. I think I gave it like a 4.75 just because some parts were a little bit confusing. They just kind of felt random, but for the most part, it was such a beautiful storyline and it kept my attention the entire book. So I'm really excited to get back into reading. And the book I decided to read next is A Court of Thorns and Roses. And this is kind of a big book. It's 400 pages and, well, I guess it's not that big, but it's big to me because I'm used to reading books that are like 300 and less. So I'm kind of nervous to be reading this, and I don't know if I can actually finish this book in a week, but I think if I'm going to be swapping my screen time with reading, it shouldn't be a problem, and I might even be able to read a second book, which I'm hoping, because in August I want to read 2 books, and if I take forever to read this book, then I'm only going to be able to get through this one. And so I want to be able to read 2 books, but because I'm swapping my screen time with my reading, I'm going to be showing you guys what my current screen time is, or at least what my screen time was for last week. And starting off with Sunday, we had 11 hours and 53 minutes. Then we had 12 hours and 10 minutes, 11 hours 56 minutes, 15 hours and 22 minutes. Don't come for me, please. 12 hours and 10 minutes, and then 10 hours and 55 minutes. Today is Monday, so I'm only going to be going through Friday. But I know you're looking at my screen time and thinking, Breezy, how on earth do you have 15 hours of screen time in one day? And like any other normal person, I would think that is diabolical, because it is. But here is my explanation for that. I like to watch YouTube videos when I go to bed. So I will usually put on like some sort of random YouTube video, and I made a whole playlist, and then it goes into like frequency music to help me stay asleep for at least 8 to 9 hours. I'm not actually on my phone, okay? So whereas it says I'm on my phone for 15 hours, I'm really only on it for 7 hours, which is still bad. It is still completely horrible, but it is not as insane as being on your phone for 15 hours straight. I just wanted to clarify that. I have to kind of do a little bit of adjusting because what my phone says my screen time isn't my most accurate screen time. I decided I'm going to be reading from anywhere between like 5 hours to 6 hours every single day, except for Thursdays, because Thursday I have to work, and there's just no way that I can read 6 hours and still get quality sleep and feed myself. I probably will be reading less, but I still want to read nonetheless. So I've been rambling for a long time. I'm going to stop procrastinating, and we're going to get to reading. Okay, I've been reading for a little over an hour, and I managed to get through like 4-ish chapters. I did start on chapter 5 because I was reading a little bit of it yesterday, and I'll be honest, I was worried the first few chapters. I think it's just because it's going a little bit slowly. I know that it is like the first book in the series, so there's gonna be a lot of world building that I'm just gonna have to kind of get used to. But as for now, I think I'm going to like the story. That's saying a lot because I don't like like romance books, and I also don't like fantasy books, and this is a romance fantasy. It's actually my first fantasy book that I've ever read. I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone when it comes to reading, so I wanted to pick up something that was completely out of my comfort zone and never on my radar, so that's why I'm reading a romance fantasy. But anyway, so far the story is pretty good. I do think it is slow moving, like I said, and I also don't know how much I like Freya. She's kind of hit or miss for me. That's kind of concerning to me because she is the main character, but I think I mostly don't like her because when she's talking in her head, it's very clear that she's anxious, a little less confident, but then when she speaks, she's a little bit overly confident. My first impressions was like, girl, stop asking so many questions, just relax. And she seems a little bit like a know-it-all, and I understand like her whole situation and how she seems like she had to grow up a lot faster than she probably needed to, but I'm just trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, but so far I really don't like her, guys. Hopefully things change because this is a 400-page book and I don't want to read 400 pages of a main character that I just don't like. But I'm gonna keep an open mind and I'm gonna keep reading. Haven't had the urge to pick up my phone yet, which is good, but I am starting to feel a little bit tired and I can feel my attention span starting to get like lower. So if I feel like I need a break, I'm gonna take a break because I know that if I keep forcing myself to read when I no longer want to read, I'm not absorbing what's in the book and I'm not understanding what's going on. So I don't want to miss things. So if I get too tired, I'm gonna take a break. But for now, I'm gonna get back to reading. You know what? I think Freya just doesn't listen. I think she just doesn't listen. Like nothing gets through. Like she hears, but she doesn't really like process what's being said to her. And I think that's the issue. That's the issue with her for me. I don't know, guys. I really don't know about her. gonna sound so pick me, but I am not the type of girl who goes all like girly and gaga over romance. But this book has me giggling and kicking my feet like I've never done before, and I honestly kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like it. I'm having so much fun reading it, and I kind of want to go pick up the second book, but I also know that it's like 650-ish pages, I think. There's no way that I can read that book in 2 days. This one, I'm over a little bit more than halfway through it, and I have a feeling that I'm either gonna finish it late tonight or early tomorrow morning, and I'm excited. I'm excited, but I'm also to the point where I'm like, I don't want to keep reading because I don't want it to end. I still don't like Freya. In fact, my hatred for her has grown. But you know what? The romance of it all, and they haven't even done like anything serious yet. But let me tell you, I'm invested. I feel like my inner girly side is coming out, and that's a little bit strange for me because I'm not the girliest of girly girls. But I'm excited, guys. I'm excited, and this book is so good. I also fear I might have to take back my words about not being a romance fantasy girly because I think I'm becoming one. I'm also considering reading Throne of Glass, but I haven't crossed that bridge yet. But I'm like, if this series is gonna be a great one, and I can already tell it's gonna be a great one, I can just imagine that one. So let me get back to reading this. She doesn't ever listen. She just never listens. What is wrong with her? It's like, how are you going to ask questions, they give you an answer, and then say that wasn't an answer? You don't even know. You don't even know anything to begin with. That's why you're asking questions. So why would you say their answer isn't enough when you just don't know? I can't. Stop. I can't do this. Officially finished ACOTAR, and let me just say I thoroughly enjoyed this book much more than I thought I would. Like I said in the beginning, I am not a fantasy person at all, and I'm also not really a romance person, but this book, it had me hooked from beginning to end, and it's been a really long time since I've read a book that caught my attention, kept my attention, and I just could not put down. I will say I did give it 4.5 stars, and that's just mostly because I couldn't get behind Freya. Her personality went back and forth so many times. When she spoke in her head, she was very self-deprecating, and she also considered herself insignificant. But when she talked out loud, she was overly confident, and I think it's just a little too bold for my taste. I think it was just the going back and forth with the character that really threw me for like not really liking her. So that's the only reason I didn't give this book 5 stars. I also think this book could have been a standalone, and I'm probably going to treat it like a standalone. I don't know if I can dedicate myself to reading the whole series. I don't know if I can even start the next book because I think it's 650-ish pages, and I just don't know if I can commit to that right now. I'm not closing my mind off to the idea entirely, but as for now, I really enjoyed the way this book ended. I feel like it was a story in itself and it didn't need any other extra books. So I'm gonna just leave it for what it is now. But I went to work today and it was kind of slow, and while I was there, I had time to read my book. Yesterday, I actually started The Last Thing He Told Me, and I read this book maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and the second book actually came out this year, but I was like, I can't really remember if I like this book or not, and I thought, let me just reread it and then go from there. Like, if I reread it and I like it, then I'll get the second book. But the books I did pick up, however, are Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. This is like 2 books in one. I also picked up I Who Have Never Known Men. This is also on my TBR, and I realized I haven't been reading the books that I put on my TBR for this year, so I thought maybe I'll just pick up a few of them. And this one is also pretty small. It's probably not going to take me that long to read. I'm hoping that I can finish both of these before school starts. As for now, I'm going to continue reading The Last Thing He Told Me. I just finished reading The Last Thing He Told Me, and I really liked the book. I don't think it was the greatest book ever written. I think honestly the book itself was very simple. I wish the characters and the plot itself had a little bit more depth. It was supposed to be a thriller, and there was a little bit of mystery, but when I think of thriller, I don't know, I just associate it with something being scary, and this book was not scary at all, which is fine. It was still a cute read. It was a quick read. It was fun, and I'm just glad that I read 2 books this week. Normally it will take me 1 month to read just 1 book. I'm very excited and very happy that I dedicated myself to just reading this week. I did fall victim to my phone a few times, but it was not nearly as bad as it has been in the past. And this whole little challenge just reminded me that every time I decide to scroll my phone or binge watch a TV show or YouTube videos, I can spend that time reading. And a lot of times I just tell myself I don't have the energy or I don't have time. Literally just picking up a book and opening it does not take much energy at all. And I think I just need to rewire my brain and just reassociate reading with being a low energy activity, because maybe that will motivate me to start picking up my book more than I pick up my phone. Because I always say, oh, I don't have time to do something, I'll just scroll my phone for 10 minutes, but 10 minutes turns into an hour, then it becomes 2, and then it becomes 3, where sometimes I'll pick up a book and say, okay, I'm just gonna read 5 pages, but 5 becomes 10, and then 10 becomes 100, and all of a sudden I just finished the entire book in the same amount of time that I scrolled on my phone. After finishing a book, I feel so happy and fulfilled, whereas when I get done scrolling my phone, I feel so drained and tired, and I don't always feel the greatest about myself. So I'm going to try to put down my phone and pick up my book more. Honestly, I thought it was going to take me the entire week to read ACOTAR, just because I don't read books very fast, and realistically speaking, I don't have time to just sit down for 5 or 6 hours every day to read a book. I do have another job. It was my niece's birthday this week as well. I'll be starting school at the end of this month. I just have other priorities that take up larger chunks of my time, but I do still want to reach for my book more than I reach for my phone. I'm just rambling at this point, but I'm gonna end off the video here. If you made it this far, I really appreciate you watching to the very end, and I want you to comment down below this emoji. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Okay,